19. Rolling along. Essential Elements Quiz. Lightly row. Caribbean island. Song for Christine. 34. Natalie's Rose.
The next few pieces we're going to be playing, at this point in the book, they're completely reading the music on their own. In all of our beginning classes and in all of our orchestra programs, we do not allow them to write the letter names in their music because that really kind of handicaps them later on. Then that's a crutch for them. They're not really learning to read their music by sight. So at this point in the music and this point in the concert, your students are reading the music on the page. Which is a nice accomplishment in 9 weeks. They really picked it up a lot quicker than they think they do. The way we prepare it is we first practice it. We have some flashcards in class that we use on occasion. And then just practicing saying the note names, reading through them without playing is really good practice for that. So if your student ever says, you know, you're going on a trip, you're going out of town, you can't take the violin, the viola, the cello, or the bass, have them take their book and just say the note names. That's excellent practice. Just studying the music is good for their brain.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Our last selection for the evening, I know they're most excited about. As you can see, we're going to play with our bows for you. We have been working with the bows for about 3.5 weeks now. When we first started with the bows, they've probably come home complaining about how slow Ms. Scheidler makes us move in the beginning, because everything's a step-by-step process. Because I really stress to them that if we can get their fundamentals down, we can get their techniques down, then they're going to be really awesome players. So that's what we really stress. And that's kind of a focus in all of Sci-Fair. So even if you went to another middle school here in Sci-Fair, you're going to find the same thing. So when we first started with the bows in all of our classes, we started with a pencil, practicing the proper bow technique and how to hold the bow and get the movement of the arm down. All of our classes, then we added bow tubes, is what I like to call them, but essentially they're just toilet paper rolls. A few of you brought them in for us. We take a rubber band and attach it to the instrument so that they can really practice the motion of everything that needs to happen, but they're not distracted by the sounds they're hearing. Because a lot of times that's a distraction for them, and then they lose sight of the movement that they're actually making. So we take that distraction away, and we use a bow tube so that we can really develop that. So you should see them bowing with fairly straight bow arms. For cellos and basses, it's kind of like a pendulum motion. And for our violins and violas, we want to see them moving from their elbow out instead of back with their shoulder, which really, after a while, is going to start to hurt. So we try to teach them the correct way so they don't have any aches and pains when they get home to you guys. They're really excited for this performance. Like I said, we started with the pencils about 3.5 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we first put the bow to the string and made our first sounds in class. So this is really rough right now, but I think you're really going to be impressed with the sounds that you hear. The whole evening tonight for us has been about presentation. That's how I've explained it to the class. What's really important to me tonight is their presentation and their performance. As you notice, they lift their instruments up together, we play together as closely as we can, and that's been an expectation of ours. We're still developing our sound and our technique, so tonight a big deal for us was presentation. That's why this is a professional concert, that's why they're in their professional dress, because tonight is all about their presentation. So we've really worked very hard at coordinating our bows. So you should see every single student's bow moving in the same direction. Thank you. think that deserves one more round of applause. I find that really impressive because this is 4 separate classes. Their first rehearsal as a large group was last Thursday, and then today we really quickly ran through the program so they would all be clear of what was expected this evening. So I think that's pretty impressive for a first concert. That shows you how good of a year we're going to have with this beginning group. One more round of applause. Our Philharmonic Orchestra. And in this group, we have 3 performing orchestras. So this is really the bulk of our program, but we had 2 performing orchestras here yesterday evening performing as well. Because of the growth of our program, if we had had 2 more groups of 30 here, we wouldn't have any room for all of you guys. So we had to, this year, split our concerts into 2 evenings, which is a wonderful problem to have. It's great. We may even have to look into other venues for our concerts with as many students as we have in our program now. Philharmonic is comprised of 3 different grade levels, 7th, 7th and 8th grade. Our performing groups, Philharmonic, Symphony and Chamber that performed last night, are a performance ability-based class. So at the end of this year, our 6th grade class is going to audition for myself and Mr. Hunter to be placed in one of these 3 performing groups. It's determined by ability, how well they're performing on their instrument, how well they're developing, so they're put in the class that's appropriate for their skill level. And then it's also based on responsibility, things like do they turn their information into me on time, are they accountable? I don't know if they've been telling you about our PBIS program here at Aragon, but if they're really adhering to our ROAR standards, then they're a student that really is made and meant for that top program, that top group, our chamber group. Tonight is our Philharmonic group, and we have 7th and 8th graders performing in this group. And the focus of our orchestra is we're really carrying on from that beginning year and working on our fundamental skills, making for sure that we're still holding our instruments with the correct posture and positioning, making for sure that those standards are there so that they have strong fundamentals to carry them on to high school and further. Another thing we're working on is intonation, and that's whether or not they're playing in tune and if they're harmonizing together. And we're also working on ensemble skills. Tonight in our beginner groups, everyone is playing the same pitches, same rhythm, all at the same time. Now you're going to hear them performing as an orchestra with different parts within the orchestra. And so we've been working on trying to balance that and let the parts that need to be heard come out in our performance. We're also really stressing leadership. So we have a concert master that starts our class every day with our tuning procedures. And gets our class ready so that we can really start working on leadership skills within the orchestra as well. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Hunter, who assists me, and he's going to conduct our first piece, Marcotte. really very fortunate to have Dave Hunter, who comes over from Langham Creek to assist me for 3 class periods. He's actually the instructor of our beginning cello bass class. That allows me to have a planning period, a time off. Otherwise, I'd be going full all day long. We have a class in the orchestra room from 8:15 all the way until 3:15. So I'm really fortunate that he comes over and works with that cello and bass class, and then he assists me with our Philharmonic and our chamber orchestra. Before we can finish with our last 2 pieces, I really want to give a big thank you and shout out to a lot of our Langham Creek volunteers and Cy Falls volunteers. A lot of former students and just some students that really wanted to come over and help, came over and helped tune all of these students. If it was me and Mr. Hunter alone, we'd still be in there tuning, trying to get them ready to come out to perform. So if you would, help me by thanking them with clapping. Before I send you off for the evening, I kind of want to give you some things to look forward to. We have a big concert coming up in December, and I know especially for our 6th grade parents, there may be some confusion of exactly what the Mark Wood concert is. So I want to show a quick little presentation, thanks to Matt Garcia for putting it together. He put a fine little promo together so that you have a better idea of what this performance is. While it's warming up, I'll kind of tell you, our December concert is December 6th, that's a Tuesday evening. It won't be here in Aragon, it's over at Langham Creek. And this concert, I've sent some notes home, but I know sometimes things don't always make it home. So I wanted to clarify things for you this evening. As you know, we've already sold tickets for that concert. It is a ticketed event, and we're completely sold out. It sold out really fast, a little faster than I really anticipated. But as soon as the forms and money started coming in, I knew we were going to sell out in that first week, and that's exactly what happened. Which is great, because that shows how excited we all are for the performance. Mark Wood is a professional rock violinist. He's a graduate of Juilliard School of Music. I don't know if you're familiar with Juilliard, but it's one of the finest music schools in the nation, really in the world. So he studied classical music there, so he's a world-renowned classical violinist, but his love and passion is rock and roll, rock music. He's one of the original performers in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Hopefully your students have asked you to go home and YouTube Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Google it. They're a performing group that travels here to Houston every year in December. They're a very fine group. They play rock Christmas music. Every year in December they do a concert here. So Mark has decided that he really wants to educate our youth and show them what capabilities they have with stringed instruments. As you probably know, classical music is kind of dying away. As technology increases, so do other older art forms such as classical music. So to reach our youth, he's really traveling around the world. He performs all the time, traveling across the world to work with students like ours at middle schools, high schools, even elementary string programs, to educate them and show them what they can do with their instrument, whether it be a rock style of music, hip-hop, jazz, or even the classical art form, which I think is really great if your students really want a future in music. This is the direction they're going to have to be prepared for, since there aren't as many venues for classical performance anymore. The promo that you're going to watch, the first little clip is from his actual promo video, and you'll hear Mark talking in the background and you'll see him working with students at a clinic. The rest of the program that Mr. Garcia put together for us are clips from last year's performance when we brought Mark Wood and Bridget Bibbins in. So you'll see our students performing with them last year when he came out and worked with our students in the spring. And at that point, you'll see our students in purple Aragon shirts, and you'll see some of our high school students that are here. They're performing in the video as well, and they're wearing black shirts. So this year, we're really excited for that winter concert because our high school will be playing some of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra tunes that you're probably really familiar with. They're played on the radio and in the elevator really a lot at Christmas time, so you'll really recognize those tunes. And then some favorites You'll probably hear your students playing maybe from even when you were younger, riding in your car, listening to just some good old music. So enjoy.
Daddy, what is that? Okay.
When was the last time you went to a rock and roll concert where there were music stands on stage and musicians varied their band of music?
People don't want to look at some of the string player countermeasures. Have you ever watched some of the countermeasures?
There will be times during the concert where you will be standing up. There will be times during the concert that you'll be dancing, screaming, shouting. We might even do an orchestra wave. What you are doing is you are now going to learn how to multitask. You're going to send the player instruments, you're going to find a beat, you're going to tap a foot and a dance, you're going to do backflips from every note until you get 2,000%.
Your students are really in for a lot of fun. Mark Wood is all about feeling the music. You can see some of our beginners tonight pulsing the beat. So we're going to be incorporating that a lot in our classes now so that they're prepared for Mark when he comes in December and does our clinic and concert, because he just really gets a kick out of that. He really likes working with students. It's his passion. He's an advocate for music education. And the kids walk away different. It really changes them. Their attitude, their love for music. They're just different people after that performance, and I'm really excited for those that performed with them last year, for them to get the opportunity to do it again, and for our 6th graders to get to experience it for the first time. So I hope you're all as excited as we are. We're talking about it in class. They're going to get their music this week to start working on. As you can see, they're fun tunes, they're rock tunes. So I know we're going to have a lot of fun the next couple of 6 weeks getting in gear for that concert. Thank you guys so much for coming out this evening and taking the time. I would like to ask you to help me with a little housekeeping. If you don't mind stacking all the chairs and stands, Beginners, you're going to need to help stack all of your chairs. Philharmonic, you're going to have to take all of your chairs and stands back to the orchestra.